Hello everyone, Jai Hind and welcome to the platform of StudyIQ IAS in English. My name is Bhavar Singh through MXND 115th course and qualified civil services in 2012, and I welcome you on the platform. Now in this complete video, we will be talking about ecological restoration as well as the landscaping, and we are talking about the Delhi Central Ridge crisis that had been in news recently and why or what it means, and the complete implication we'll be talking about in this complete analysis. Now over here, there had been recent reports of the heavy pruning as well as thinning of the trees in the Central Ridge without a scientific plan. Also, the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, he has directed the transformation of the ridge into a complete aesthetic public space as well. Now, there are experts who are warning that the unscientific removal of the Prosopis juliflora, again, this had been in news and also in the prelims for the UPSC as well. So, the removal of Prosopis juliflora, it is harming the soil health, and also there is lack of statutory management plan which is required as per the Indian Forest Act 1927 in the complete region. That is the reason that why we are discussing this complete topic in our today's session. Now, when it comes to the Central Ridge, they act as the green lungs of Delhi. The Delhi Ridge is the northernmost extension of the Aravalli Range that is there. Now, this Aravalli Range is one of the oldest folded mountains which are there in the world. And when it comes to them, so these are right now in the they are in the category of relict mountains as well. So they are one of the world's oldest mountains which were formed nearly about 2.5 billion years ago. Now, this complete Central Ridge, it acts as a barrier against the hot winds which blow from the Rajasthan and also plays a very crucial role for the groundwater recharge for the capital region. Now, the complete Central Ridge had been, categorized into the 4 zones. So, there is the Northern Ridge, there is Central Ridge, then South Central and the Southern Ridge that is there. Now over here, what had happened or what is the status of the complete Central Ridge? So in 1920s, there was introduction of the Prosopis juliflora by the Britishers to green the arid ridge area. At the same time, in 1980s, the Supreme Court intervened by the MC Mehta cases to protect the ridge from the encroachment, and also in 1994, there was a notification that was issued for them to be as or they were considered as the reserve forest under the Indian Forest Act of 1927. Now, there has to be another notification that had to be issued after the first notification, and the second notification had been issued recently, and that marks that this had been nearly more than 30 years that took the time that they had been declared finally as the reserved forest. Now, right now, the current ridge, it covers nearly about 864 hectares of the area, and it is under the dual control of Delhi Development Authority as well as the Delhi Forest Department that is there. Alright, so right now, what is the issue? So the issue is that there is the Delhi Forest Department, it has intervened, and there is a plan that will develop the complete region into the special themed ones or the forest. Now these forests, they will be they will adopt the Miyawaki plantation methods, and there is a planned development that will include, there will be a Tirthankar one, there will be Ritu one as well as Rashi one and Panchvati one. Now, there will be themed forests that will be created, and ultimately these themed forests, they involve the hardscapes, that is human-made constructions that are there. Miyawaki methods as well and the theme parks, they are basically the urban landscaping exercises, and over here they are totally alien to the principles of recreating the natural thriving dry forest that is there. So it is very important that the species that survives in this region, they are the species that had been adapted, or they are specifically, they have the climatic characteristics that suits the complete region that is there. Now, it is not the first time that the Delhi Ridge had been, the restoration plan, it had been started for the Delhi Ridge. Alright, there are over a century of the reforestation attempts that had been done for the complete Central Ridge level, but at the same time, all these reforestation plans, they have failed. Alright, now what had happened previously is that there are the government which plants the heavy water or water heavy Indian trees into the arid soil. Now, this is a granitic soil, this is arid soil, and ultimately if the irrigation is withdrawn, and ultimately this is eventually withdrawn, so what happens is that these trees, the planted trees, they perish because of the hostile quadratic conditions which are there. And again, there is South American Vilayati kikar or juliflora that is that penetrates into it and fills the void. And again, there is the invasive species that thrives into the region, and that is the major or the main cause that is there. Now, when it comes to Prosopis juliflora, this is the invasive species and it kills the native biodiversity by depleting the groundwater and even releasing the toxic chemicals, that is allelopathy. All right, the roots of juliflora, it can reach up to 50 meters and it sucked dry the already low Delhi water table as well. Now, the problem is that replacing it is difficult because it survives in the extreme conditions where native seeds, they try to struggle. And removing it too fast also exposes the soil to the erosion and the heat. Again, that is also a kind of, a kind of dilemma that we have right now in front of us. Now, when it comes to the complete effect that it will have, all right, or the complete effect that this will have is basically the landscaping as well as, moving ahead for the greening of the central ridge is that there is the loss of carbon sequestration potential during the transition phase. All right, and there is risk of the urban heat island intensification as well in the Delhi NCR region. Then also there is a conflict, if you'll see, when it comes to the governance. So there is a conflict between the aesthetic landscaping, that is park-like structures that will be created as per the plan that have been put forward by the forest department, and also ecological restoration where there is wilderness-like or the native species they are planted into the region. There is also another concern about the destruction of mycorrhizal fungi and even soil microbes due to heavy machinery and the clearing of the forest floor as well. So these are the implications that the complete landscaping process could have. Now, when it comes to the Delhi Ridge, it is 864 hectares and this is in the central ridge, and also 30% of the average canopy thinning limit is there when it comes to the central ridge. Any restoration that is in the complete region which is without the statutory management plan, it is actually a violation of the forest conservation rules, and there is no management plan that had been notified up to now, even after declaring this as the reserve forest. Now, when it comes to the draft management plan, so it is pending for the years, and without it, there is no scientific baseline for the restoration in the region. Also, the expert committee had been often sidelined by the administrative speed for the beautification projects as well. There had been also the establishment of nurseries for Dhau, Amaltas, Babul and Palash as well. Now, over here, we have to understand when it comes to the native species. So, generally, when it comes to native species, so when it comes to mango is also native to India. But we cannot plant mango to this particular region because this is the mango plant is again it thrives on the heavy irrigation or heavy water. And if there is water that is given to the roots of the mango tree, then only it will flourish. Also, it is not suitable for the quadratic kind of the soil that is present in the central ridge. So again, when it comes to native species, we have to also see that which is native to that particular ecological region. Also, another important thing is that some of the invasive plants, now they are being called by the Indian names. All right, they have been given Indian names like, for example, Jungle Jalebi. So that is also an invasive plant, and generally what happens is that all the restoration work, all the plantation work, this is being done by the contractors. And if the contractors are new, or they are novice in the field, so they will not understand the difference between invasive species and the native species as well. So again, this is very important when it comes to the establishment of the nurseries, as well as there is fragmentation of the authority because the complete central ridge, there is a dual control between the forest department, the DDA or the Delhi Development Authority, and even the LG's office as well. All right, so there is, if we want to really, we want to develop and restore the central ridge, which is a vital piece of the ecological, system when it comes to Delhi NCR region. So it has to be on the triad. The first thing is it has to be provided the statutory protection that had been already achieved. And again, under the section 20 of the Indian Forest Act 1927, there had been 670 of the hectares which had been declared as the reserve forest recently. There has to be micro-endemic science as well. Now, over here we have failed. All right, we have to understand the native planting of the trees, or the native, what actually native is into a microclimate. All right, not about India. All right, we cannot plant all the species which are native to India into this region. All right, so we have to see that there should not be the water-hungry timber, or the the logs, or even the trees which are planted over here, and we should also not treat termite as the pest. In a recent notification for the tenders, the government have notified that there will be, the pesticides, the contractors were asked to use the pesticides that will kill the termites. Now, yes, termites are bad when it comes to the homes. All right, in the homes, they will eat up your wood furniture. But at the same time, when it comes to the forest ecosystem, the termites are very helpful, because they also, they also act for the nitrogen, for fixation, for nitrogen fixation as well. So again, treating termites as pest is again something that is not right, and it was good that the government, it notified its the tender, and there was a corrigendum tender that was released asking that there will be no termite pesticides that will be used in the region. Also, there is administrative fidelity that has to be taken into consideration. There is timber-centric working plans, or the contractor loopholes, and exotic species procurement. And again, over here, what has happened is that this has also been failed. So the ridge is secure on the paper right now. All right, this is that it had been given the statutory protection, but its distinct dryland ecology is being systematically dismantled by its own protectors through the misapplied science and even the leaky governance that is there. All right, so that is what we have to think about. Now, when it comes to the way forward, so what could be the way forward? The way forward is a scientific way, and we have to move forward with the ecological succession. We should not clear-cut, use the gradual thinning. Let the native species which are there, they grow, or let them grow under the shade of the kika before the removal of the kikar that is there. All right. At the same time, we should move forward with the rewilding. That is, we should focus on the microbial restoration. We should reintroduce the local soil fungi to support the native Aravali flora that is over here. And there should be community audit as well, that is third-party monitoring by the ecologist and the citizens to ensure that it does not become a Central Park clone itself. So these are the things that we can move forward with, and these are the scientific way forward. This that could we can move with. All right. Now, when it comes to the complete analysis, so this is the complete analysis of what is happening in the Delhi and the Central Ridge. But at the same time, if you are preparing for the civil services for 2027 and 2028, so this is for you, that we have 50% off as well as double validity. The complete offer, it will be expiring on 15th of May. So you should not, wait until 15th of May, and you should use this, code, that is BRS Live, for the maximum discount on all the UPSC courses which are available on the platform. We have, for the English, we have the, resolution P2I batch, which you can join for your GS foundation, and in that batch you will get more than 100,000 hours of the live classes, along with 1:1 mentorship. There is mains residential program as well, and if you will clear the prelims, your complete fees, that is 100% of the fees, will be refunded. As well as you can enroll into the public administration optional as well for your UPSC 2027 or 2028. The batches will be starting from 15th of May. Alright, so that would be all in this video. Thank you very much, guys, for joining me over here on the StudyIQ platform. I will see you in the next. Till then, take care of yourself, and also do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel, and also leave a comment and tell me what did you liked about the video. So that would be all. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care and Jai Hind.